Hi guys, welcome back. It's Stephanie Mo Davis here again with another video. Today's video is called You're the Block. You're the block to your fullest potential. You're the block to everything that you want to achieve in this life. You're the block. And I know this may sound slightly cruel, but I'm going to explain myself. So, everything on my channel is experiential, which means that I've personally experienced it, I've personally transcended it, or I've directly worked with somebody in communication to work through a particular blockage that I'm sharing. So, it's not something I've read in a book, it's not something that I've gathered externally, it's something that I've gained, knowledge and wisdom I've gained from within. So, you are your own block. How do I have authority to say this? Because I have been my own block so many times in my life. And as a human being, it's very natural to blame external means, so many, such as family members, money is a big one. There's all sorts of reasons why we blame external sources for us not achieving or fulfilling higher purpose or destiny or things that we dream of, and we think that it's totally inaccessible. But I'm here to share with you from my own experience that if you can dream of something, if you truly desire something, if you can imagine it in your mind's eye, you can have it and it's available to you. You just have to learn how to see the higher perspective. As a human being, as most of us are, I can attest to the fact that I have little patience. I want things when I want them. I like to be in control, right? We really are a race of control freaks, no offense, but we like things on our own timing and we like to be in control of the process. And I think that we can all agree, as I believe in my heart, we are guided by higher forces, okay? So whatever that higher force is for you, the God of your own understanding, there's a higher authority than you, okay? But that being said, you are not a victim to your life circumstances. You are what I call a co-creator. You are co-creating with the God of your own understanding as so far as how your life is unfolding. And I know this concept may sound unusual. It did for me when I first started to get into this material. I was like, what do you mean? How can I be creating my own reality? It doesn't make any sense. It makes total sense once you start to humble up a little bit and check in with your own ego and do a lot of self-study and self-work to really realize that you are your own block. You are your own block, okay? So I want to give you just a couple of examples of how this unfolded in my own personal experience. So there's been many things that I've wanted, and there's been many unwanted things that have occurred for me. Right? I did not plan to live my life from the age of 20 until 30 trying to just survive, right? I did not have a normal decade between my 20s and 30s. I literally had to just live to breathe. I had to live to try to survive. I didn't do the normal traditional things that most people do in that decade, but that's okay. It was definitely unwanted, but now, many years after, I recognize fully the purpose of everything that needed to happen to me to get me where I am today. All right? So that being said, we've got unwanted things that happen to us all the time. Right? Why did this happen? Why did this happen now? This is the worst time. Why did this happen? Nothing is random. Everything is conspiring for you to get what it is that you truly desire within. The thing that you think you cannot have is actually being formulated in different realms, not right in front of you all the time, to get what it is that you need. All right, so very simple example. When I was in my very early 20s, late teens, and I was very active in the spiritual community as a yoga teacher and student of yoga and meditation, I knew I wanted to be a spiritual teacher. I knew I wanted to lead. I knew I wanted to write. I knew I wanted to stand and share a story, a profound story that could help shift people out of their own limiting beliefs. I knew I wanted to be a spiritual teacher, and I verbalized it many times to the people that were around me. I'm going to be a spiritual teacher. I'm going to be a spiritual teacher. But at the time, I was a yoga teacher, a little bit different. But that being said, I see very clearly now why I had to go through a decade of scrapping my way through each day to survive, because it taught me so much. I had to be still. I had no choice. I couldn't run around and distract and do the typical things that most people do, which I missed in a way, but that wasn't what I truly desired. What I truly desired was to be a spiritual teacher. So the universe said, okay, well then I'm going to give you one hell of a lesson that you might think as something negative or traumatic, but this is what you need in order to be the person that you want to become. So see the higher picture when things happen to you that are unwanted, all right? But now let's talk about how you block your own experience, right? Because of the innate nature within human beings to control, to be impatient, a lot of times we look externally and we move towards things outside of ourselves that we think in our mind is going to get us to the next step sooner, right? We all know this, right? Well, let me do this, let me do this, let me go here, because then I'll arrive where I really want to be sooner. And I'm not saying that we should devalue any of that process, because it's really you choosing your own unfoldment, whether you recognize that or not. So maybe you need many years of external experience to move you to where you want, right? But the true recognition, the moment you actually feel an arrival, is because you've gone within and you found the joy and the fulfillment within. It was nothing outside of you that really made you feel that fulfillment. Maybe temporarily, but that lasting feeling of, all right, I'm doing what I want to do now, has come because of your own inner work and the journey that unfolded. It wasn't the external experiences alone, right? So that being said, let's talk about how we can accelerate our process of getting what it is that we want sooner and stop blocking ourselves. Okay, so just a couple of very practical tips and tools. I'm not going to get too mystical here because this kind of languaging and linguistics can get a little bit confusing. So let's get very practical, very three-dimensional with how do I accelerate my process? How do I stop blocking myself? Okay, number one, and these concepts are going to sound very, very simple. But instead of you ruling them out and again going into your mind based off of past experiences, I want you to think outside of the box and just try this. All right? So when something feels terrible, but you think you need to do it for your growth and evolution, and you keep going into whatever feels terrible for you, I want you to stop. Just stop it. Okay? So that being said, you have a particular friend or somebody you're assisting or a job or an extracurricular thing that you're doing because you feel it's going to push you faster to your next part of your process and you hate it, don't do it. Stop. Just stop it. Okay? So much of growth and evolution and accelerated living comes from you stopping running around like a chicken with your head cut off, looking outside of you. All of the external outside stimuli is blocking you from the clarity and the stillness and the wisdom for you to just kind of look within you to see, all right, let me really tap into my intuition. Let me really tap into my inner guidance to see what my next right step is. So you can make 50 wrong steps, or you can stop doing everything that doesn't feel good and maybe make 3 to 5 steps that are going to accelerate your process because you've calmed down, stopped, went inside and trusted your own intuition without letting your mind take over because it wants to control and move faster. So this person said I should do this, and this person said I should do this workshop, and this looks really cool on Facebook because everybody's doing this. You're going to get to where you want to be at some point, but it's not going to look as you want it to look. And what I'm trying to say to you is you're going to get there. You're going to get there. All right, trust me, you're going to get to where it is you want to be. But do you want to take 72 years to get there, or do you want to take 2 years to get there, or 2 months? Okay, I know this concept again is like, I don't know what she's talking about. She's full of shit. But really, honestly, I've done it. I've done it many times now. This relates to manifestation, and I'm not really going to get too much into the law of attraction because I have mixed feelings about that right now. I understand the concept, but let's talk about manifestation a different way. Sorry, the bikers are out today. It's a gorgeous day here in Allentown. So, manifestation and law of attraction I honor, right? But there's a little bit of a missing link. You can't just adjust your vibration and sit back and let things that are meant to be attracted to you come to you. Yes, you have to adjust your vibration to the frequency of what it is that you want in order to receive, but there's a very practical element left out that's sometimes not discussed, is that you also then need to take action. Okay, we cannot just live in 5D in the upper realms and in our mystical self and manifest, right? I've tried that and it's delightful, but there comes a point where you need to integrate the masculine energy within you and actually know that sometimes you have to take a really well thought out action when you're in that vibration as well. So that being said, how long do you want to take to get to where you want to be? Seriously, how long do you want to take? If you are searching and running around everywhere outside of you to try to get to that next place, to get the job that you want or the relationship you want or whatever, I can feel right away, because I'm considered an indigo or an empath, a highly sensitive person. I can feel right away when I work with clients if they're in that externalization to get where they want to be sooner and they're literally just running themselves ragged. I can feel that right away. Why? Because I've been there. And what I try to do is get them to simply move to what feels good. I know this is so foreign because we've been so conditioned to, work very hard, no pain, no gain. You got to keep pushing until that's what we've been trained and taught. But that program is being eliminated. Okay, we are recognizing now that leads to illness, depression, anxiety, and a lot of stress when we constantly put ourselves in situations that are not intended for us. You'll learn, but you will learn what not to do. And I'm not saying it's not bad or it's bad to learn what not to do, but I would prefer that you instead move towards what it is that you really want to do. Okay, again, it's a choice. This is all a choice. This is all your movie, your story, your unfoldment here in this experience, this time's reality experience. But I'm trying to assist in helping people get there sooner, not by exhausting all measures and seeking externally, but to instead trust that you are being supported if you just stop trying to micromanage every single step of your journey. Honestly, stop and move towards what makes you feel good. Can you possibly believe that would actually work? It does. I wish I could give you something more profound here, but it actually works. All right? So start to move more in the direction of what makes you feel excited. What makes you feel lit? What makes you feel passionate and like it's not a drain on your system, okay? And cut back some of the external things you're doing and see what it's like to just fully be in the moment and move towards what feels good for you. You will find that is the accelerated journey to your purpose. Again, you're going to get there no matter what if it's what you really desire in your heart. But how long do you want to take to get there? Stop blocking yourself by running yourself ragged, doing what everybody else says you should do in order to get to where it is you want to be, and start listening to yourself. I get passionate. I'm sorry. All right, guys, that's it today. Stop blocking yourself. Stop doing what doesn't resonate with you. Just stop. And literally honor the simplicity and the joy that's waiting for you by following your path to what feels good. I often say follow the breadcrumb trail to your joy, just step by step. Then you'll wake up energized. You'll wake up excited. You won't need to have 10 cups of coffee a day or self-medicate to keep your energy going. You're tired because you're doing what you don't like. So stop. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll be back to see you soon. If you like the channel, subscribe. It helps me to know that you actually like what I'm sharing with you. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it below, and I'd be more than happy to address anything. Thank you, guys. Bye.